What's up, guys? We are back for another video, and as you can see, we are discussing players that have something to prove in the 2021 NFL season. And what I mean by something to prove is more than just be regular season players. Players that are going to have to step up in the postseason, and players that need to win Super Bowls as soon as they can to get the monkey off of their back. Players like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are great regular season players, but they do need to step up and they need to win a Super Bowl for their cities before they become the narrative that Peyton Manning had at the beginning of his career, just regular season players and guys that can't necessarily win the big game. Obviously, Peyton finished with 2 Super Bowls, and he eventually won one in his 8th NFL season, but in the social media era that we are in now, things tend to weigh on players a lot, as Lamar still has to deal with being called a running back on social media despite winning an MVP and everything of that nature. Now, before we dive into everything, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, as each only take a second to do, and it would be very much appreciated. Now let's begin. And the first player we have in today's video is a player that has yet to go to the postseason in the NFL, and it is Giants running back Saquon Barkley. Now, Saquon came out of Penn State a few years ago, and he was regarded as one of the best prospects in not only his draft class, but really in the past 5 to 10 years. And not to say he was on the Andrew Luck level, because he wasn't, because Luck is obviously a different, guy in a different level. But what I'm saying is Saquon was looked at as the best running back prospect since probably at least Adrian Peterson, who was in the 2007 draft class. Now, Saquon answered every critic there was and every question there was in his rookie season, as he had over 2,000 total yards, but since then it has been nothing but downhill, and obviously a torn ACL in 2020 hopefully is the bottom of what is hopefully a very successful rest of his career. Saquon is going to be 24 years old this year, and what he's going to need to do is he's going to need to stay healthy, as the Giants right now, they're going to be looking for a long-term contract. Well, they're going to want to determine that answer, whether they want to give him one or not, and Saquon is going to need to stay healthy, as he has one full season of 16 games out of 3 so far, and obviously Vikings running back Dalvin Cook had to answer these same questions heading into 2019 and 2020, and more than did so. Now, I'm not questioning Saquon's ability, his work ethic, or anything like that, because his ability is top-notch, and his work ethic, you guys have seen the workout videos, and you guys have seen the Saquads memes and everything like that. It is second to none. So, Saquon had a bit of an unfortunate luck, as his ankle against the Bucs back in 2019 got just rolled up on, and those are kind of freak things, and no matter how much you work out or no matter how much you prepare, if your ankle gets rolled up on by a 230-pound guy, there's really nothing you can do. It's just dumb luck. And kind of the same thing with this torn ACL. It's just dumb luck, and it's unfortunate that it happened like that, but Saquon is going to need to stay healthy for at least 14 games this year out of the 17. Now, if he misses 1 or 2, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal as long as he's back and he is productive, and he was the player he was in his rookie year. Saquon has all the tools to be successful, and he is on an offense that will feature him along with a lot of other players to take the pressure off of him if they do indeed stack the box to stop him. Saquon will be back in 2021, and when he is, he will probably receive a hefty long-term contract. And the next player we are going to discuss may surprise you guys a bit, and it is Justin Herbert of the Chargers. Now, I like Justin Herbert a lot and think he will be a very successful quarterback for a long time. He absolutely balled out in his rookie season, and he broke a lot of records during his 2020 rookie season, and everything points to him having a very long and successful career, and good for him. And as you know what's coming next, the word but. But Justin Herbert is going to have to prove again that it was not just a one-year wonder, and that the negatives that everyone saw on tape at the University of Oregon are not just a one-year everything above everything else that he'll do the rest of his career. We saw Baker Mayfield in 2018 have a very good rookie season compared to what Browns quarterbacks had for the past 20 years leading up to that point, as Baker had 27 passing touchdowns in 13 games roughly, as he played that one half on the Thursday night and they unlocked the beer cooler. But with Justin, it's going to be as consistent as he was in year 1 in 2021. He's going to have to be that player again, and probably beyond that. And to me, there's no doubt that Justin obviously knows this, and there's no doubt that he is pushing and training harder than he ever has before to ensure he is that player again. Now, I don't think the Chargers are going to beat the Chiefs in the division, but now what you have to remember is players aren't training to say, you know what, the Chiefs are good, man, they're just better than us. And I always side with players that say they're going to do this or do that, in terms of team success, because they can't go out and say, you know what, man, we're playing Patrick Mahomes today, let's just toss in the towel and, they're good. They're the Chiefs. They've won the AFC the past 2 years. We'll just toss the towel in, right? They can't actually say that. And so if any Chargers players come out and say, Justin's the guy, he's leading us to a division title this year, and we're going to the Super Bowl, let them say it, because they deserve to believe it, and that's what they're working for, right? But Justin himself is going to have to be a 30-plus touchdown player again, and otherwise it's going to be, is Justin Herbert a one-year wonder? Is Justin Herbert a rookie sensation, and that's it, and, that was the peak of his career? It's going to be that if he does not perform similar to what he did in 2020 this year. So for that reason, Justin Herbert makes today's video as a player that has to prove he is what he is in 2021 as to what he was last year. Now, next is Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, and as we know, Lamar has been a very good player over the past 2 years. Now, I'm just going to say this now, if you're an internet troll or somebody that says, oh, Lamar's a running back, the Ravens have a running back at quarterback, guys, that's not true. He led the league in passing touchdowns in 2019, and he has an MVP to his name. He had 43 total touchdowns in 2019, so those talks and those are not by anybody that's actually credentialed or has a, I don't want to say a respectful opinion, but if you truly think Lamar's a running back, then I really don't know what to tell you. But Lamar needs to step up in the sense of he needs to win more playoff games than just one against the Titans. And as much as and as fun as Lamar is to watch, he's also a very easy guy to root for. You see him on draft night with Deion Sanders, the interview with him saying, I'm just happy to be a Raven and all that. And then there's stories of Lamar that come out, like with Marlon Humphrey discussing, he discussed on the Lefko podcast a couple weeks ago that Lamar will just go to a Waffle House in Baltimore and just sit down and then not really, I don't want to say realize, but not actually, thinking that he's Lamar Jackson, that the whole place will shut down in 5 minutes because Lamar Jackson's going to Waffle House. So Lamar is truly just one of the best guys to root for in the NFL, and he's going to need to win multiple playoff games this year. To me, Lamar, it is AFC Championship game or bust for the Ravens this year at minimum. Now, Super Bowl is lofty for anybody, let alone the Ravens, as the Bucs, even for them to repeat, is a pretty lofty expectation, but especially, given that Tom will be, 44 years old. So what I'm saying is Lamar has to get to the AFC Championship game. Lamar and the Ravens. They went out and drafted Rashad Bateman in the first round, and as I record this, Julio Jones was, not to his knowledge, on the Skip and Shannon show today. And Shannon kind of just, let it play out. I don't really like that on Shannon's part. But what I'm saying is Julio may end up as a Raven. I don't think he will, but that is, of course, a possibility. So if the Ravens get him, Julio Jones, Sammy Watkins, Rashad Bateman, Marquise Brown, Mark Andrews, and J.K. Dobbins, then Lamar would have to come through with, at minimum, an AFC Championship game, and probably with that roster, a Super Bowl appearance. So Lamar, in terms of the postseason success, is going to have to step it up this year, as we all know what type of player he is. He is electric, and he is extremely fun to watch, but we just need Lamar to win a couple of postseason games. And the final player we go to for today's video is Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Josh had a terrific 2020 MVP caliber year in which he had 46 total touchdowns, and he was truly a transcendent player compared to what he was in 2018 and 2019. In those first 2 years of Josh's career, he was really, I don't want to say a liability, but sometimes he really never knew where the football was going when he threw it. And in 2020, he changed his mechanics up, and it was a monumental difference to say the least. And the Bills went to the AFC Championship game for what I would say is probably the first of many during Josh Allen's tenure as the Bills quarterback. But he is going to have to prove that 2020 was not just a, for lack of a better word, it was just a blip in his career. It just wasn't an outlier in terms of what he will be for the rest of his career. Obviously, I wish everyone, the best and only the best for the rest of their NFL careers, but, Josh is going to have to prove that 2020 wasn't just a one-year wonder, and those first 2 years of his career were very rough statistically, as he was below 30th in completion percentage, and in 2018 was dead last, completing barely over 50% of his passes as an NFL quarterback. So to say that people were concerned about him and, could he ever be a franchise quarterback, well, those concerns were definitely real, and Josh more than answered the bell in 2020, but like with Justin Herbert and Lamar Jackson, it's going to take more than just 1 year to prove that you are that player, and that's why, Tom Brady has answered the bell just time after time after time over the past 20 years, and honestly, if I were making this video 2 years ago right now, Patrick Mahomes would have been in the video. A 5,000-yard, 50-touchdown season, definitely, that obviously proves that he was an MVP player, but what I'm saying is because he had to prove that he was not just a one-year wonder, and Josh is going to have to prove to that this year the same way Patrick Mahomes did in 2019. And hopefully for the Bills, it ends in the way the Chiefs season did in 2019, which was with a Super Bowl win. And with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. It would mean the world. If you're still watching, a quick announcement, the vacation that I said to Hawaii starts very soon, and it's going to be, the videos for the next couple weeks are going to be sporadic, and when I get out there, you're going to see the background's going to be a lot different, but I just did want to let you guys know if there's a dip in videos, that would be why. So anyways, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and until next time, have a great day. Love you guys. Deuces.